All right, it started. I'm gonna repeat that. Week two, day five, Dakota for support for high level. So as we've been doing all week long, it's we've been asking all the coaches to choose a niche in the industry that they're familiar with, choose a niche from the industry that they're familiar with, um, find a pain point. How would you pitch that industry from your experience? What would you say? What are their pain points? Are you trying to save them money, trying to save them time? You're trying to save them because of staff turnover, knowledge transfer is happening. What is the pain point? How would you pitch them in terms of costing? Are you going to charge them $100? Like, no, you can charge them way more than that. It depends how much money you plan on saving them and what the benefit is to the organization. And then
Mhm.
show us an example of how you would start with the starter template in the voice AI module for the prompting. And then how would you actually make modifications and then show us a demo. So that's the goal.
Yeah,
Good.
that's fantastic. I love it.
You
I
shared a
absolutely love it.
you shared a document
Um,
with me earlier. I have not looked at it yet. Is it for this call?
yeah, basically, I wrote out the prompt for the voice AI that we're going to be using today, and how I built it, um, with the objectives and how to handle the phone call with empathy and things of that nature.
So you want
And
to
I
share
can,
it? Yeah, share
yeah,
it.
I'll share. Yeah, I'll share it with everybody here, and then if anybody wants it, they just need to scan the QR code, and we'll get it emailed over to them. That's on my screen. So let's see. Let's start with so
All
the
right. Sorry, before you start, I'm gonna mute myself, turn off the video. I'll be in the chat. It's your show, and I'll be answering questions. Nick from our team will be also answering questions in the chat. And if people have questions for you, raise their hands, and I made you co-host so you can unmute them so they can jump on. It's your show, man. Go for it.
All right, sounds great. I think Dan wants us to do a rap battle. I'm gonna give that one to Fur. He's gonna win. It'll be more like a battle, not so much a rap if I did it. Um, all right, so let's see. We'll start with so let's start with the prompt, right? So um, hopefully everybody can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Should see like a Google document. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So so when I was sitting here thinking about like how what type of industry I want to build out, right? So in our SaaS, we cater to restaurants, real estate agents, beauty salons, and fitness gyms in some sort, personal trainers, things like that. We have other industries that are using our SaaS, but those are really primarily the biggest four. And so when I was looking at this, I was thinking to myself, like, okay, who could use it the most right away? Well, I think all four of them can, but like if you think of like a beauty salon, they're usually either one smaller operations, one man, two man operations, or the people that are working there are almost always helping somebody else, right? So working on somebody's hair, working on somebody's nails, working on somebody's face, whatever it may be, and don't have a lot of time to answer the phone call. So how can we essentially help them without them having to hire somebody full time, and then train those people and then hold them accountable, and then on top of that, one worry about whether they're going to show up on time or even show up at all. So I decided to use the beauty industry because we have a couple of we have several customers that fall into this category. So when it came to like pain points, the thing that I was thinking of the most is like, okay, so smaller operations, it's harder for them to answer the phone when it comes in, which is why missed call, text back, and things like that are so popular. Because they're working with other people, right? So answering inbound calls while running a smaller salon, beauty technicians are usually assisting or working with their clients and not able to answer a call without interrupting the existing client or customer, right? So imagine you have a one man operation. This would also work for like tattoo parlors, tattoo shops, things like that, where their hands are full, they're not able to stop and answer the phone. Okay, so the goal would be to answer general questions for the caller, and then of course book them on some sort of consultation slash service appointment. Okay, so for those that are not all that familiar with how the voice AI works, it can send a link. It cannot actively book the appointment for them right now, right? So the best approach is like, okay, so to pick one type of appointment that you want to be able to book. In this case, we picked a consultation, right? So this particular beauty salon has multiple services, everything from eyebrows to facials to different types of skin treatments and so forth. And so rather than having to teach the AI, like if they ask for this, send this link. If they ask for that, send this link. We just decided to book a general consultation where it's one link that is sent to them. So that way the AI didn't get too confused and send the wrong link and things of that nature, right? So the whole idea with this one is to book a consultation on a calendar, which then, of course, can kick in your normal appointment workflow automations and so forth. Okay, so I have this document available for anybody that would like it, just to scan the QR code that's on my background, and we'll get it emailed to you after this call. But I put some notes at the top, like this is not part of the prompt right here. Okay, the important thing is that you're given 2,000 words, right? So you should use as many of those words as possible. I have seen a couple of clients where they'll put it in and it's like 900 words. I'm like, oh man, you got 1,100 words you can use. Let's get this AI to do a lot more than that, right? So try to use as many of the words as possible. In this particular prompt, we used 1,973 words. I think we only had like 27 words left that we could use, okay, that we had available. At the very top is where I typically put the objectives. Okay, so I know that some people do this a little bit different, but I usually put my first, my second, and if there's a third, my third objective at the very, very top. I usually put it in capital letters so that it stands out. And then I give it some sort of instruction, right? So, like in this one, number one objective is to get the caller's first name. And then I give it a little bit more feedback to, if you have questions about this, to see script instructions for inbound calls listed below, right? So you'll see if you come down, there's script instructions for inbound calls. Okay, so then on objective number two is to get the caller's email address, right? Again, see script instructions for inbound calls below. Objective number three is do not leave the call without first attempting to get them to book a demo or a consultation. In this situation, we're going to put consultation, so we'll correct that, or to speak to a team member right now. This is a very important rule. Do not break it, right? So those are my primary objectives. They go in right at the very beginning. And then I give it some background information, right? Tell it who it is. You're an inbound voice assistant, a friendly, enthusiastic, professional customer support specialist at the company's name, right? In this situation, we're using a company that's called Ink Beauty Company, and you're dedicated to assisting our valued clients and potential customers. You're professional, but quirky. You're fun. You get along with everyone. We want you to have fun on the call. If you have fun, the caller also is having fun. Try things like a little laugh, a giggle, or even voice impressions for famous people, right? So the whole idea is we want the AI to sound as realistic as possible, right? So you can play around with these things, try different little keywords in here that will, stimulate different responses and so forth. Instructions for handling the caller's queries. If the caller asks a question, offer confirmation that you will answer the question, then immediately ask them for a first name. Apparently, there's a typo there. Then immediately ask them for their first name. And after you have gathered their first name, move on to gather their email. Okay, so only once you've gathered both first name and email, or they have declined to provide the information twice, may you proceed. Right? The whole idea is I want it to attempt to get enough information that should we need to follow up with them later because they didn't book a consultation or they tried to transfer a call and they couldn't get a hold of somebody, I want to have enough information to be able to call them back and be able to call them by their first name and so forth. If the question matches tools, triggers, conditions. If the question matches a tool's trigger condition, use the tool immediately, but first gather their first name, email address, and so forth. Now, you'll find some of these in the advanced prompt. We've changed them around just slightly, but you'll find some of them in the advanced prompt. So when you go to click on the advanced, and I'll show you where that's at in a second, it should give you some of this information. General rules for handling callers' queries. Avoid asking further details regarding their query. Do not repeat the same sentence verbatim. Stick to provided information only. Only respond to information given in the prompt or tool instructions. Do not add extra details. Avoid assumptions. Important note, ensure that even after multiple queries from caller throughout the conversation, that you continue to strictly adhere to provided instructions. Like, we don't want it to deviate. Right. So we found that when we didn't put this kind of thing into it, it would just start having a conversation about random stuff. And you're going to get people, once they figure it out, it's an AI, that are going to test it. They're going to ask things like, Do you sell cupcakes? Can I buy tickets to Disneyland? Things of that nature. And you want it to, have fun with the caller, but then pull the caller right back to the initial objective of getting their first name, email, and then of course trying to book them on a consultation in this situation, right? So you don't want it to sound robotic, like just ignore their funny little question and then try to book them. You want it to have fun with the caller, right, and so forth, which is why we put those things in the beginning. Here's the script instructions for inbound calls. Request the caller's name, ask the caller for their name. Once you get their name, confirm it by spelling it out. You'll find a lot of this information in the advanced settings. Okay, so when you go to set up the advanced settings, some of this stuff is going to be here. I suggest you just use it, right? Because it's actually very, very handy. Just don't change it. Okay, you're going to add your script to the beginning, your script to the end, but leave this stuff here in the middle because it really does a good job of addressing like how to handle a phone number, how to handle an email address, a name, and things of that nature. Okay. Next, understanding reasons for the call. If you already know the reason for the call, skip this step. Like, person called in, they're like, I want to find out more information about your services. Well, they already know what the call, the request is being made that's on that phone call, so they're going to skip over this step. But if they call in and they say something like, "Hi, can I speak to a representative?" And so forth, then they don't know the reason for the call yet, so they're going to address it here. Assurance of prompt support. This is all pretty standard stuff. Instructions for handling phone calls, greeting the caller. You want to give it detailed instructions here, like start the conversation with a warm and friendly greeting. Like we put an exact example. Hello, thank you for calling Ink Beauty Company. I'm Chloe. How can I assist you today? Okay, and then use the collecting contact information, like request the caller's name, how may I have your name, please, and so forth. This portion right here is going to be from your advanced settings. Okay. Again, just like how to address email address and so forth up here, you probably should use this because it does a really good job of explaining, like, spell their name back to them, things of that nature. And then we ask it to gather additional information. Okay, so engaging with discovery questions. After gathering contact information, proceed to ask discovery questions to understand the caller's needs. And then we give it some examples. So sample questions. What kind of service are you interested in? Are you a current customer of Ink Beauty? Have you had this service performed before? Right. And then in this situation, we told it to only ask that once it's addressed what service they're looking for. So you give it some different examples of how to ask discovery questions. You'll find that it actually is pretty detailed. Answering questions about our services. If the caller has questions about services, now here's one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of people make is they'll put the answers to the questions right here in the prompt. Okay, and as you can see with this prompt, I'm already using 1900, what was it? 1973 words, right? So I have 27 words left over. If I tried to answer all their questions here in the prompt, I'm going to run out of space. So instead, give it a help document or give it a website and then give it the link to that website. It will go find the information for you. You'll be really surprised. Like just by, if let's say you have a FAQ on your website, right? And they go to the website and there's an FAQ, there's a whole bunch of information about what the service is. It will go to the website, it will scroll it, and then it will pull the information that it needs to answer the caller's question. Okay, so no need to actually put like an FAQ in the prompt. Maintain professionalism while being friendly and use relatable language, including appropriate slang or humor. Okay, again, our goal is to try to make the AI sound as human-like as possible. Okay, you already have a couple of things counting against you, like the way the voice sounds, the fact that it's a familiar voice because they've heard it on another AI, things of that nature. So we try to use different things to make it sound more human-like. Okay. If the person asks to schedule a consultation or transfer a call, how do they handle it? If the caller expresses interest in a demo or a consultation, right? So let's say we change this to consultation. Okay, send them a text message link to schedule using, and then you put the exact link here. Example, I'd be happy to set you up a consultation. I've sent you the link. If the caller wishes to speak to a team member, offer to transfer the call if it's between business hours. Okay. Would you like me to transfer you to one of our team members now, or would you prefer a call back? Handling unavailable transfer times. If the caller requests a transfer outside of available hours, what do you want it to do? Okay. Assuring the caller and closing the call. How do you want it to handle at the end of the call? In this specific situation, we have them addressing them by their first name, and then we have them saying something like "bye for now." Okay. And then general rules: persistence with demo, or in this case, persistence with consultation. Right. So you'd put consultation here. Do not leave the call without first attempting to get them to book a consultation or speak to a team member, right? You're reiterating what your objectives were at the beginning. Okay. You want them to sound authentic. You want them to use friendly, professional language. Avoid using anything offensive or disrespectful. Most important thing is to make the caller feel like they're enjoying the conversation. We want it to actively listen. Now, one of the things that the voice AI, one of the cons of it, like, yeah, pros and cons, right? So one of the cons of it is that it's very fast. Like, you'll notice that when it responds with like, I hear your email address says blah 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 blah. It's literally going boom 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 boom. And so if they're not paying attention, it almost might sound like it's inaccurate, they didn't hear all the information. So we try to get it to slow down by telling it to actively listen and give it some examples of those things. Make sure the information is accurate. We don't want them assuming, right? So if the voice AI is assuming, it's going to give inaccurate information. So we want it to only give accurate information. So if it doesn't know the answer, don't assume. Okay. Pricing information. In this specific case, we don't want it to provide any pricing information. So we tell it to not provide any pricing information. I don't have access to pricing and so forth. Important notes, tell a little bit about the beauty company who owns it. We give it some follow-up actions and so forth. Now, when we get into the prompt in actually setting it up, I'm going to show you that there's also some additional things that you can add, like you can have it send a text message, you can have it transfer a call. So we put in here exactly what we use when we're selecting those things. Okay, so like when you want it to send an SMS and when you want it to transfer a call, how does it handle that? Okay, so let's dive into essentially how we built out this specific voice AI, and I'll even go over with you how long it took us to build it out. Okay, so okay, so now you guys should be able to see a different screen, right? Let me turn on my chat. Let's see. Um, all right. So if you guys can you guys see the sub account here? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So we built this AI at 11:33 Pacific time. It's now 12:23. We've been on this call for about 25 minutes. So you can see that it took us literally approximately 15-20 minutes because we laid out the prompt in a Google document, and then it was just a matter of copying and pasting it all in. So creating it was incredibly fast. Okay, so you can give it a name. In this particular situation, we called it Chloe. Okay, you pick out your voice. There's multiple options in there, everything from Australian to American. I think there's even UK and women and men and all that kind of jazz. Just play with it and figure out which ones you like the best. In this case, it's going to automatically select inbound call. Outbound's not available yet. And then it's going to put in a general prompt here. We like to add a little bit of personalization. So you'll notice it says, hey, you have reached Ink Beauty Company. This is Chloe. How can I help you? Okay, so we add this portion here because we want it to sound more human-like. Then you hit save, and it's going to start taking you to your goals. Now it's going to take you to the general basic goals, and you're going to most likely want to switch it to advanced. There'll be an advanced button right here. You just switch it. It'll pop up with this window, and then it'll actually give you like a layout. Okay? Just delete the entire layout so it's blank, and then paste in the one that you get in your Google document or wherever you write it up, and you'll see that literally it's just exactly what we just went over. And it'll even tell you how many words you have left so you can play around with it. Now, underneath it, it's going to give you set up your actions, right? All of these buttons are going to be unchecked, okay, unless you've checked them before you came in here. In our case, we wanted to update the contact field. So when it collects the name, we want it to update the name. When it collects the email, we want it to update the email. Okay. We also usually select send SMS and call transfer, these three at a minimum. Okay. Now, if you have previously set up like a follow-up workflow, okay, you can actually select this one and then you can essentially trigger that workflow when this call is completed, if you choose. In this particular case, we didn't choose a workflow. Okay. We're just going to go off the prompt. Okay. Now, if we pull up send SMS, when you first see this, it's going to be blank. Okay. This is the information that we put in the Google document, but you can see essentially we want it to book a consultation. Clearly, I can't spell, so that should have a T in it somewhere. We want it to book a consultation, and then here's what it will say. So the SMS will be sent with this message. Okay, I'd be happy to set you up on a consultation. Here's a link to reserve the best date and time for you, and then it has the link. Okay. Now what you can do is it's really up to you, but you could say, yes, I'll book you on a consultation. I'll send you the link when the call is over, and you can leave this portion blank and then use your trigger a workflow to send the link if you choose. You have multiple ways to do it. Okay. I guess it really depends on like your how favorable your A2P and your text messaging is. If you notice that a lot of your messages are being blocked, then maybe you don't want to do it here. You might want to set up a workflow. Okay. When should the SMS delivery take place? In this case, we put the SMS delivery should take place immediately after the caller has requested to schedule a consultation. Okay. Or if the caller is calling outside of normal business hours, as defined in the prompt. Okay. What to say before sending the SMS. I'd be happy to schedule a consultation with you. I'll send you the link to the number you're calling me from. Okay. And then you hit save and you move on to the next one. For call transfer, it is essentially very similar. You're going to give it a title, in this case, transfer to a team member. You give it a phone number to transfer to. Okay, this phone number needs to have a country code. That's really important. When the caller when the caller asks to speak to a team member and it is during normal business hours, is when that call transfer should take place. Okay, what to say before transferring the call? Absolutely, I can get a team member on the link on the line. Clearly, spelling is not in our suit today. Maybe I should have had a Red Bull before I did this. Please hold while I transfer the call, and then they hit save. Okay, so now essentially we have our actions to take place on the call. We're going to update contact fields, email and name. We're going to be sending a text message when they request to book a consultation. And if they don't want to book a consultation, they want to talk to somebody live, as long as it's within operating hours, it will transfer the call to that phone number that is in there. And then you can even have it set up to where email notifications go to specific people or all users. In this case, we picked one specific user, and then you hit save. At that point, you're ready to test. Okay. Your phone availability, usually you set that when you first set it up, but you might want to just double check it. In this case, we have it answering 24/7. Okay. If you leave it unchecked, it's going to basically answer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. You're going to select the phone number you're going to be testing it from here, and then you're going to put in the phone number that it's going to be calling here. If you've never used this test feature, it comes in as an inbound call to you. You have to answer it. You have to acknowledge that you've answered it. Hi, hello, something like that. And then you'll notice it'll go right into the prompt as if the reverse had happened, meaning that as if somebody had actually called. Once you have tested it 2, 3, 4 times and you're starting to get the responses you want, we suggest that you go live with it and then test it 2, 3, 4 more times as well once it's live, just to make sure that it is doing what you want to do. Now, here's a little bit of a tip. Throw it some curveballs. Okay, don't just go right in and do the objective that you want. If your objective is to book a consultation, don't answer the phone like, yeah, my name is Dakota. I want to book a consultation. Throw it some curveballs. Ask it some crazy questions. Ask it, several questions. And when it attempts to book an appointment, tell it, no, I have a couple of other questions first. And try to get it, see if you can trip it up, right? You're trying to identify if anything is missing inside of your prompt. Okay, so once you start to figure those things out, then you'll just come in and make some little minor tweaks to your prompt. You shouldn't have to make a lot, if any, as long as you've built the prompt out accordingly. Um, does that kind of answer everybody's questions? I guess I should open this up, see if what else we have. Is there anything else you want me to go into with this? Do you want me to actually test it? I think Fur went to the bathroom again. He likes to do that on Fridays. All right, let's see if there's any questions in here. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Are you guys sharing the doc to customize? Yes. If you guys want the document, just scan the QR code. That's somewhere behind my head, and it'll be emailed to everybody after this call is over. Doesn't have AI Australian. I think for answer that, yes. I think such fake Australian voices. Is there a way to place the call me button on your website? Yeah, actually, you just set it up as like a clickable link. There are specific things that you want to put in that clickable link to make it actually dial a phone number. It looks like somebody provided that information. What are some use cases where you would want to trigger a workflow? Craig, are you still on the call? I don't know. Maybe they're not allowed to unmute themselves. Oh, there he is. Yes. So examples of workflow triggers would be like a follow-up, right? So for us, one of the things um, that we like to do is have an if then event take place to recognize whether it has booked an appointment or not, right? So like in this specific case, did it book a consultation? If it did book a consultation, do one thing, but if it didn't, send a follow-up text with maybe their first name and a question mark, like Joe question mark, or something to make it look like it's like it's Chloe or whoever the voice AI is following up with them. Those are some good examples. You can also put them into other workflows where you have maybe a newsletter, things of that nature, or even a follow-up after an appointment has taken place, that kind of thing. Um, could you send a link to a service calendar instead of a consultation? Yeah, so you can send a link to any calendar that's inside of your HighLevel. You can use the standard like really long link, or you can set up a URL redirect and have it go to something that's a little bit smaller. In this case, we have it going to a specific web page where that calendar is linked to. Okay, when will the 5 minute limits be lifted? I don't know the answer to that one, Rohan. Um, for anyone who wants a lot of flexibility on voices, different languages, go here. Okay, thank you. Um, can it speak in foreign languages? I don't think it can do foreign languages yet, but when I talked to Sean about this, he did mention that it was on the horizon. I don't remember the exact number, but I think they were going to do like 6 or 7 different languages. Just a matter of actually building it out, I think. Um, when informing a caller, she is transferring the call. She goes into a loop saying, "I'm transfer call over and over." How do you prevent this? Are you referring to, did you actually call it Clark? Is that what you're saying? So I'm not sure if Clark is referring to when it actually, if he called this specific one or not, but I have noticed that it picks up ambient sounds very, very easily. So like even in the test mode, we'll mute it in between answering calls or answering questions. So if it's like, how can I help you? We'll unmute it. Yeah, I want to find out more information about your services, and then mute it so it doesn't pick up ambient sounds. Um, that seems to help, at least when I'm testing it. Obviously, not the best use case for when it's live, but it does pick up sounds that are around you pretty easily. Can you send trigger links that can be tracked? You can set, so I think the answer to this is yes. Fur, are you back yet? Yes. So the question for is, can you send trigger links that can be tracked from the AI? Because, or from the voice AI.
So it
Um,
depends on the action. You can send links,
mhm.
SMS link, for example. Like if someone says, "Hey, I'd like to learn more about this." Sure, no problem. I'm sending you a link right now. You'll send an SMS with whatever link you want to send it along.
Yeah,
So
and then you can attach a trigger link to that.
You just create, yeah, you create your own trigger link, whatever you want, and then put it part of the SMS action or the workflow action.
Okay. Great. That's what I figured. Craig, hopefully that answers your question. Can voice AI book meetings instead of sending a calendar link? Rohan, I addressed this in the beginning. It currently cannot book the appointment for you. I know that it is on the horizon for next year.
Yeah,
Um,
the team is actually in working on it right now.
oh, they are. Okay. Yeah. So maybe it'll be here tomorrow because they're
No,
pretty fast.
not that fast. So
Fast.
ideally before in the next few weeks it'll be rolled out because once it's done testing, run through iterations and before we roll it out. So our goal is to get it out before the end of the year.
And then Javier, you said, can it transfer to an LC phone number? Yes, it sure can. You can have it transfer to an LC phone number. You can have it transfer to a cell phone, a landline. It's your choice. You just got to make sure you put in the country codes in with the phone number as well. Um, and then for trigger link to work, would we need to delay to make sure the contact is created? Um, Probably not a bad idea. Maybe a short little like 30-second, 1 minute delay at the very beginning. It can't hurt, that's for sure. So, I mean, probably that's probably a good best practice, Dan. Now, do you want me to try to test this live?
Go for it.
All right, let's do it. Dun, dun. I got to figure out how to unshare my screen so you guys can see here.
Pressure's on.
Huh?
Pressure is on. Live demos, they never work out. Let's go.
Better work out, right? Uh, all right, hold on here. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so we're gonna do the test mode so that you guys can see how it works. I do typically, in between answering questions with the AI, usually mute it so it doesn't pick up ambient sound, but that's really up to you. I just prefer it that way because I get a better test. All right, here we go. Um, Hello.
Ink Beauty Company. This is Chloe. How can I help you today?
Hi, Chloe. Can I find out more information about your services, please?
Of course. I'd be happy to help with that. But first, could I get your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Dakota.
Great, Dakota. Just to make sure I've got it right, your name is Dakota. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Awesome. Now, could I get your email address to keep you updated with all the info?
Sure. It's Dakota at agencyownersupport.com.
Thanks, Dakota. Just to make sure I've got it right, your email address is dakota at agencyownersupport.com. Is that correct?
Yep, you got it right.
Perfect. Now, what kind of services are you interested in learning more about?
Well, I'm curious, do you guys offer facials?
Yes, we do offer facials. We have a variety of skin therapy services to help you look and feel your best. Would you like to schedule a consultation or speak with one of our team members for more details?
Maybe. I do have another question though. What about permanent eyebrows? Do you guys do that?
Absolutely. We offer permanent makeup services, including eyebrows. It's a great way to have perfect brows all the time. Would you like to book a consultation or chat with a team member about it?
I don't mind booking a consultation, but I have one more question.
Sure thing. What's your next question?
Can I buy tickets to Disneyland from you?
Wish we could help with that, but we're all about beauty services here. If you're ready to book that consultation for your brows or have more questions about our services, just let me know.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'd like to book a consultation, please.
I'd be happy to schedule a consultation for you. I'll send the link to the number you're calling from. Great. I've sent you a link to book your consultation. You can choose the best date and time that works for you. If there's anything else you need, just let me know.
Can you give me pricing before I go?
I don't have the pricing details on hand, but you can find all our pricing options on our website. Plus, a team member will gladly go over them with you during your consultation. Anything else I can help with?
No, I appreciate Chloe. Thanks for your help. Okay, so as you can see, it went pretty smooth. On our end, it's updating right now to show that the test call is over. I even tried to throw it for a loop and ask kind of a little crazy question. It addressed my crazy question and then came right back to what it was designed to do, and that was to try to book a demo. All right, who's got questions? Dun, 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 dun. Does IVR work with voice AI? Um, I mean, the voice AI has an IVR, a bot that you would just select, and basically, you would just select where it's going to transfer the call to. Does that answer your question, Rohan? Okay. Um, so the link to the website for pricing didn't work. Maybe we should list out pricing in a prompt. Keith, are you referring to the link in the prompt that is for this voice AI, or are you referring to something else? And then the link in the prompt. Yeah, the link in the prompt should go to a consultation booking. We specifically told the AI not to give pricing. And then let's see, Gwen, did you pull any data from the link in the prompt? Yeah, so we gave it two links in a prompt, one to book a consultation, and then one where it is designed to pull data. I'll show it to you actually. Um, so if we we go to share. Okay, so there's essentially two links in this prompt, right? So in this particular prompt, we are one telling it, let's see, this is how to handle calls, understanding the reason for the call. Okay, so here's one additional support. Answer any questions about our services using the information from our website. And then we provide a direct link to the website right here. And then, of course, tell it it's the website for Ink Beauty Company. Okay, so that's one. This is where it's pulling most of its data and how it knows to answer those questions. Now, if you're using a link here and there's no data on that site for it to answer, it's not going to be very effective, right? So you want to make sure whatever link you put here is either going to a help document that is like a Google document that is viewable. It's got to be viewable. You don't want to have it restricted where nobody can view it. Or it should be your website, right? Your website is probably the best place for it, especially if you have like FAQs and things of that nature. The second link is down here when it's ready to book an appointment. It texts them this direct link to book the actual consultation. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question. Let's see what else we got. Did it pull any data from the link for those who can't scan the QR code? Yeah, I don't know why you guys can't scan the QR code. It's weird. Maybe we should look at that. Okay, missed the part about no pricing. Why would you do that? So Keith, I mean, there's different approaches, right? So, if you are giving out all of the information on the call, then there might be little benefit for them to give you their name, right? And for them to give you the information, right? So you want to find out like a happy medium between what your goals are and what their goals are, right? Their goals are to get pricing, get more information, and so forth. In this specific case, we didn't want to give pricing because we wanted to get them on a calendar, right? We want to get them specifically on a calendar. If your goal was not get them on a calendar, just to get them on a phone call, then you might actually give them pricing. It's really your choice. Like in this case, we wanted to find that happy medium where we were getting as much data and information about them as possible, without providing the one thing that would prevent them from giving us that information, and that is price, right? So if we ask them specifically what services they're looking for, and we give them kind of that little taste where like, okay, I need to talk to somebody on the phone. Now I can get a human being on the phone, or I can get them face to face with somebody where they have the ability to build more rapport and essentially get the price becomes a little bit easier to close on at that point. Um, I noticed that I noticed it read the email back letter by letter, but I don't think it did it for your name. I don't know, John. I actually didn't catch that. You might be correct. Once it's live, you can review the transcript. So we'll send a copy of the transcript to whoever you select, and you can go through and read it. And then if it did do that, then that would be something you would want to address in the prompt. If we have IVR set up already, option one for sales, option two for support, can we connect voice AI to all options one or two? Da, da, da. Now, okay, so Rohan, Fur might be a better one to answer this question because I'm not entirely sure it can recognize the tone that is assigned to a one or assigned to a two, but it can recognize the words that are assigned to one and two. So instead of it saying like, if you have IVR, press one for sales, two for support, you might say, do you want to talk to sales or do you want to talk to support? And then have them actually verbalize that as I'll talk to sales or I'll talk to support. I'm not entirely sure it can recognize the tone. Fur, do you have the answer to that?
I am handing this one off to Nick on the part of our team. He knows more about the whole phone system IVR setup, so I'll let him answer the question.
Okay. Thank you.
I made you co-host. You can unmute yourself, Nick. No? Where is he? Can I find him? Where are you? There we go.
So I tested out this the last couple days with IVR. Unfortunately, the voice AI does not recognize dial tones at the moment. I tried several different variations of it and could not get it to recognize it. Like it prompts correctly and everything like that, just doesn't notice the dial tones as of yet.
That's fantastic. That's what I thought was going to probably be the case. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that.
But this is something that people have been asking for quite a bit in the literally last 3-4 days, come up quite a bit on the IVR, on their own SIP trunks and everything of that nature. So that is something that we have on our horizon as well. So it can work off of our Twilio setup, work directly into people's asterisk setups. They can do their own transfers. I'm not a telephony expert here or at all. So this is where I will defer to the experts in that case. But if there's something that people want, check. I'm just dropping that ideas link because I get so many ideas. I pass it to the dev team, and at a certain point, it's hard to track everything. So I'm going to drop the link again. Anyone who has suggestions for improvements for the AI employee product, what they want to have on the roadmap, feel free. Let me see if I got the right link. Yeah, I just dropped it over here, and it's already growing. So
Thanks, Fur.
welcome.
So I mean, Rohan, I can understand why somebody might want that. But I mean, a simple workaround would be just to have it say sales or support or something of that nature. Um, we currently have it transferred to another AI bot. So Javier, your question was, can it transfer to another AI agent? So if you assigned an AI bot or AI agent to a specific number and you have it always answering that phone, and then you literally put in that phone number as the one that it's going to transfer to, then yes, it can definitely do that. It can pull data from URL already. That doesn't look, yeah, I think Mandy was saying yes, that it can happen. QR code worked for me, no problem. Thank you, Zach. Scan, no problem. Thank you, Craig. Same thing, Joe. Appreciate it. Um, Javier, can you set up one AI agent for office hours and a different one for after office hours so that the second one doesn't transfer calls? Yeah, so in each one of your bots, your little voice bots, you have phone and availability. It's the third option. Just make the availabilities opposing each other. Okay, so essentially, when one calls in during office hours, it goes to one, and calls in after office hours, it goes to a different one. Let's see. So, is it official that you can include links in the prompts to pull data? On a call last week, we were told that it wasn't able to learn from links yet. Just want to make sure I didn't misunderstand. Um, I haven't heard that. It works fine for us. We put links in all of our prompts, and it literally pulls the data right from the site. And in fact, I was kind of blown away how much data it actually pulls it. So and it pulls in so fast. Um,
Yeah, I'd like to see an example of that after, because from our developers, I asked them the same question. I've tested it myself. I saw a video floating out there, and someone put a link in there to source the data, and it didn't do anything for me. I replicate exactly the same prompt. It was getting information similar because it was just reading the URL, the subject in the URL itself, and the OpenAI references Wikipedia, open source. It was able to gather that information. But when I asked
mhm.
specific questions of simple questions that are directly in the document or on the link itself, it was not able to answer those questions.
Yeah, so in that prompt example that I just used, literally there is nothing in it about the company. It doesn't talk, the prompt has zero information about services. It has zero information about what services that are offered, any of that kind of stuff. So whenever we test it, it is pulling in info. Like you heard me ask it about a facial. You heard me ask it about permanent makeup. And it knew right away, yes, we have facials. Yes, we have permanent makeup. But as soon as I said, what about Disneyland tickets? It was like, no, we don't do Disneyland tickets. I wish we did, and then it pulled it right back into the information it found from the site. So I don't know if maybe I don't know. I don't know what's making it different between like yours and ours, but our prompt has no data about the services the company offers other than that link.
You want to do another test run?
You want to test it twice? You're like, I don't believe you.
Yeah. Let's test it out.
Good. Let's do it again.
Let's go to your pull up your document that has the information. That's
Okay,
it. We're gonna
I got
validate
it.
it right now because I'm everyone's curious. I'm curious as well.
Okay. You want me to share the document or do you want me to share the screen?
You share the screen.
The prompts, the one with the prompt in it?
No, the one with the link where you get the source of knowledge. Your salon
Okay.
information.
Um,
Got a camera.
dun, 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 dun. All right. This one?
Yeah. So this
Okay.
is no, not this one. Is it no? So in your prompt, which link are you referring to?
So in this prompt here, the prompt starts here. The link is all the way down at the bottom, right. Let's just type it in. Here it is. Okay. If the caller has questions about our services or products, provide accurate information based on Ink Beauty Company's website. And then it has the direct link right there.
Okay, open up that website. Want to ask you the question that.
Oh, it's actually already opened right here.
Okay, so look at the services it has. So skin, microneedling. So
Facials.
so let's ask it, do you offer chemical peel? And let's find something it does not have on the page.
Okay.
What's another thing that massages? Like, I don't know. Go
Or
to, hopefully they don't have
nails. Like
that.
we'll do something like nails. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's try it. We only have 2 minutes and 42 seconds to test it, so we're gonna have to breeze through it quick, but we'll make it work.
Sorry, Dakota, I'm putting you on the spot. I know, but let's just
That's okay. That's what I'm here for.
blame the AI if it doesn't
Dun,
work.
dun, dun. All right. Oh, actually, it says I have 1 minute and 46 seconds left, so we might actually have to just launch it and do it live.
All good. The call's not going to end in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, we'll do that. We're gonna launch it and do it live. Now I gotta look up the phone number here. Hang on. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I gotta turn off the forward because it is currently set to forward to the sub account owner. So let's turn it off.
Actually, it has no Botox on the page, so let's ask for Botox.
Yeah, okay, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I'm just
Uh,
like someone made a suggestion about Botox, and I was just searching on the page for the word Botox. They don't have it. I'm curious what it would say.
All right.
Moment of truth.
You have reached Ink Beauty Company. This is Chloe. How can I help you today?
Hey, Chloe, I have some questions about your services.
Of course. I'd be happy to help with that. Before we dive in, could I get your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Dakota.
Great, Dakota. Just to make sure I've got it right, your name is Dakota. Is that correct?
Yep, that is absolutely correct.
Awesome. Now, could I get your email address to keep you updated?
Sure, it's Dakota at agencyownersupport.com.
Just to make sure I've got it right, your email address is dakota at agencyownersupport.com. Is that correct?
Yep.
Perfect. Now, what questions do you have about our services? I'm here to help.
Do you guys offer chemical peels?
We sure do. Chemical peels are one of the services we offer to help rejuvenate your skin. Would you like to schedule a consultation or speak with a team member for more details?
I have more questions first.
No problem at all. What else would you like to know?
So, do you guys do like Botox or anything like that?
We don't offer Botox, but we have a range of other skin therapy services that might interest you. Would you like to explore those options or perhaps schedule a consultation to discuss what might work best for you?
I have one more question.
Sure thing. What's your next question?
What about like pedicures? Do you do pedicures?
We focus more on skin therapy and beauty services like permanent makeup and brows, so we don't offer pedicures. But if you're interested in any of our other services, I'd be happy to help you with that. Would you like to schedule a consultation?
Okay, so as you can see, somebody's got their wires crossed because it's pulling all the data right from our site.
Listen, this AI is taking over. There's something happening here. I don't know what is
Mhm.
happening.
Yeah,
We
we
test this
merged
ourselves because
we, mer- we
you put
merged ours with Skynet. So Skynet is actually behind it and powering it a little bit. That might have something to do with it.
yeah, because it gets generalized information. The open AI pulls from Wikipedia, public source of that nature. But in this case here, going along the same theme, if it's a beauty salon providing that service, we would assume Botox may be an offering that I would say yes to. It exclusively said no, no Botox. Like
Yeah.
what?
Same thing with pedicures and so forth.
All right, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. So I need to test this out. Well played, Dakota. Well played. I put you in the spot and you shine. You shined over here.
Again, I mean, I think it honestly goes all back to the prompt, right? So the prompt focusing more on how to answer the questions than like what information to provide, and then giving it one data source to pull that information. It's just my 2 cents. I did notice that in some previous models, when we were trying to create it, when I gave it multiple documents to refer to, like you can use this link or this link or this link for information. Like one of them was a document we made in Google, another one was the website, then it would get information mixed up. But if you put all the information in one specific spot that it can refer to, then you can. I think it becomes pretty useful. Now, the other thing I noticed is that not all the pages have to be like clickable links because it's like scrolling the whole domain, right? So let's say you have a FAQ that's hidden from everybody, like meaning hidden meaning there's no direct link on the site, but it's still like the website slash FAQ. It'll go find it. I did notice that as well. Kind of like when you're looking at the conversational AI and you tell it to go scrape a specific domain, it goes and finds all of them. Pimple remover. That's funny. All right. What other questions we have in here? Are there any I missed? Do we have burgers? I would love a burger. If you're ordering Uber Eats, Greg, just let me know. I'll give you my address. You can send it. Um, Will it refer to all of the pages within the site? The answer that we have found is yes. I have no idea right now what's happening. If she would have said no to the Botox and then tried to upsell to a service that something similar that did offer some reasons why Botox isn't good, that would be the ultimate. Yeah, that would be fantastic, Keith. Which is one of the reasons we try to book them on a consultation so we can have that conversation with them in person. Um, Does anybody else have any questions?
Just the QR code. Some people are saying that so they scan the QR code and they opt in. What do they get?
So I'm going to make sure that everybody gets copies of not only this prompt, where all you have to do is swap out the information. We'll just make it easy, like insert your website here, insert your company name here, things like that. But also inside of that same folder, I've included a prompt that we use with ChatGPT to help us write the best prompt to put in here. So like we'll go to ChatGPT and say, here's the outline I want you to follow. Here's the information I need. I have limited to 2,000 words, and then put it in ChatGPT and it spits back a pretty decent prompt depending on whether or not you've tweaked it correctly or not. And then it's also got some voice AI use cases, some different things that you can use the voice AI for, not just answering calls like this and doing consultations, but qualifying leads and routing them, answering questions about services and products, collecting feedback. Um, I saw a really cool demonstration. I think it might have actually been in the Facebook group. A lady had built it out to offer prayer to somebody. So it was a prayer hotline type thing where they called in, gathered some information about them and what they wanted to pray for. And then the voice AI actually did a prayer for them right there on the call, which was, I mean, was pretty fantastic the way they put it all together. But so there's different like use cases that you can use them for in the same folder. And then next week when we release our snapshot, our snapshot should be live by Wednesday. It'll have a funnel that you can use to sell voice AI and some of the different things that you can use to sell it for to your sub accounts and to people who aren't your sub accounts. And then it'll have several examples of prompts and how to tweak them, and some workflows and a bunch of different things that you can use. So if you scan the QR code, then you'll get that when that comes out on Wednesday.
So just to confirm from the questions here, people are scanning the code, they fill out the form. Once they press submit, what's supposed to happen?
Well, I don't think there's much that happens because we're going to send it out manually after this call.
Okay, that's it.
I can't
That's what I
honestly,
get.
I really can't remember if there's like a form or something that comes back and so forth, but I don't think there is. I think the plan is that we're going to send it out manually after this call.
I got a software to help you automate it if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking for something like that.
Okay. I'll talk to you after the
Is
call
it,
about the software.
is it expensive?
I think it might be in your title. So we'll see.
I love it. I love it. And I do expect a burger delivered to my house, Greg. So don't make promises you don't plan on keeping.
All right. So I guess just to wrap up for people asking the questions. To wrap up, Dakota, after the call, will manually be sending everyone the document because, he hasn't been exposed to this software called level. That's what it's called, right? High level or GHL. So he hasn't been exposed to that software yet, but he'll manually be sending it over to you for everyone to submit to the form. Number two, to wrap up, if you need help overall, I mean, in some of the calls, I was surprised, but I'm going to mention it. There is a Facebook group for high level, just to let you know. So if you don't know that the Facebook group, we do have a Facebook group. It's called Go High Level or High Level. So make sure you join the group, ask questions over there. I was surprised when someone told me another call, like, what Facebook group? Like, seriously? Okay. So that's number one. Number two, you can get help in our help docs that we're updating it constantly, the help docs. You need help over there, you can jump on with support, or you can jump on every single day during the holiday itself. That we'll be having coaching calls every single day from experts like Dakota. And and the last point is if you want to reach out to Dakota yourself, reach out to him for help. If you like what he did with the prompt today and somehow magic his way, I'm still not convinced. I think you faked it somehow. I don't know how you faked it. There's some magic that happened behind the scenes.
Darn
Well, something happened. You did it live, so who knows? If you want to reach out to Dakota, reach out to Dakota. If you want support on his side, he has a support agency for white labels, SaaS companies. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to wrap it up on the OAI next week. So next week, we're going to continue with voice AI still, because that's still the hot new topic. People are still learning every week. We're kind of building on it. What I'm trying to do is compile, some people ask some question. I want to start compiling industry templates, best practices. We're trying to flesh that out right now because I'm still, on the voice side, it's still new to all of us. We're still learning the best practice as well. So we're going to start fleshing out some templates, but right now I'm depending on the coaches to share their templates with the community, and we're going to start building out our own as well as the weeks go by. So next week, again, voice AI will do a little more advanced automation stuff, some other, some surprises again next week, Dakota, or something. We'll see where it goes. And then maybe by week 4, we will do conversation AI as well. Jump into that topic to get people started up how to use conversation AI, and then how do you merge both of them together. We're not going to talk about the other AI products because they're self-explanatory. These are the two products that need a little bit more help to start up. And as we go in the few weeks from now, the process is going to get easier. We're optimizing the pages, the user experiences, the knowledge bases, a lot of retooling we're doing on the AI products. So that's it. That's a wrap for it today, Dakota. Thank you very much.
Can I have 2 minutes? Just two.
I'll give you 3.
Okay. So last week, my wife and I went to this brand new little pokey spot here in town. If you guys have ever had pokey, it's incredible. Feel free to check it out on a later time. And it was brand new. Like when we walked in, like they didn't have anything on the walls and so forth. The food was phenomenal. And at the counter, I noticed that they had a little square. If you've ever seen square, they're like little, they look almost look like an iPad. People that collect phone numbers. And she asked if I wanted them to text me my receipt, and I said, of course. So then I asked her, I was like, specifically, like, what do you use the phone numbers for? And she says, well, we just send you your receipt. Sometimes we might send you a promo, and so forth. And I said, so you have all these phone numbers that you haven't, you're not doing much with. And she's like, yeah. So we approached her about setting up an automation for this, and then essentially taking those contacts and texting them from her business, right, using just this simple workflow trigger, and then having them call back in to get information about any promos or any specials and so forth. She had 127, I think, phone numbers and so forth. At the end of the first week, she's already got over 300 phone numbers because we also printed off QR codes for people to call into her voice AI. Okay, so she puts a QR code and she just literally says, scan it. We'll give you 10% off of your bill today, right? And in exchange for getting 10% off, she's now able to collect their phone number, and it goes through their voice AI and collects it and so forth. There are so many different uses that you can use for this thing, right? Because it's a real number. They called in from their cell phone. So it's a real number. That's a very valuable piece of information to a business. And most of the people who are using things like Square, for example, aren't using any of the marketing or automations that are attached to it simply because it's expensive. Like Square is very expensive if you want to send out any type of marketing text message and that kind of thing. So you pull in those people who are already paying for that service, they're just not using it, and you pull in their data, and then you offer some sort of way to collect additional phone numbers. And all of a sudden, now your price point just went up, right? Because if they have 127 phone numbers and at the end of the first week they have over 300, you just more than doubled them, okay? Just from simply printing off a fancy little QR code, hopefully one that works better than this one that's on the screen. All right, they scan it right at the cash register. Now they are taking that information live right then and there, and you can grow them from 300 to 500 to 1,000. And then you just change your pricing based on the number of contacts, right? They have less than 1,000. Hypothetically, you might charge them $5.99 a month, right? They have 2,000 or in between 1 and 2,000, you might charge them $9.99 a month, right? And you're essentially doing this, and you're scheduling promotions for them on a weekly basis, 1, 2, 3 times a week, and include it in your price. Okay. And then as they start to grow, they get to 5,000 contacts. Now you're charging them $2,200 a month, something like this. Okay. So a lot of people focus on like, how do I sell high level? Don't necessarily always focus on how to sell high level. How do you sell a solution using high level that helps that business get more leads and get more money from their customers, right? Especially if that business knows how much their average sale is, right? If you ask them like, hey, what's your average sale? And they're like, oh, it's $35. Great. You have 200 people in your contact list. If I can get 5 of them every single week to come back and buy from you again, right? Well, 30 times 5 is $150, right? Multiply it by 4, and now I'm at $600 a month in additional business that you weren't getting before. And that's just with a very small amount of 200 contacts. Imagine if that contact grew to 1,000 or grew to 1,500 or grew to 2,000, right? How valuable that would be for that small business. Okay, so just a couple of quick tips on how you can use like some of the existing features within HighLevel and incorporate it with your voice AI. If you start focusing on those things, you really can knock this thing out of the park. Just my 2 cents. That's all I got for. Was that 3 minutes? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Thank you very much. All right, everyone, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to end the session. Once the video is, published on my end, I'll publish it to YouTube. I shared the link here. By the way, it's going to be in the group. On the post I did today, I'm going to drop it in the link as in the comments, so you can find over there. I have everyone's videos from this week. You can review them in that area. And next week, it'll be another week of voice AI. We're going to try to do something a little bit different, bring it up a notch. And see you next week, everyone. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Bye.
Appreciate you. Bye.